Welcome to the second game of World Masters Ultimate Club Championship. We are here reporting back from the main pitch at the University of Limerick. My name is Rachel Toshnerova and I'm here with
Bjorn Shea.
How is this morning, Bjorn?
Oh, it's lovely. It's quite a bit calmer in the air than yesterday, and another nice, beautiful, cool day for these athletes to perform in.
That's right. In front of us is a field full of Grandmasters athletes, a first game in this category that we will be streaming. Like we said, the conditions still quite challenging for these athletes. Today we have a Czech team, you can see that on your screens already. Silence, the only Czech team representing the Czech Republic, obviously, at this event, facing surly Grandmasters from the US. Bjorn, where exactly are they from?
They're from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they get their name from the brewery called Surly, who is their kind sponsor and has sponsored them in the Masters division for well over a decade now.
How lovely to get a beer company sponsoring you. I myself am from the city of Budweis, where the original Budweiser beer is made. And so far we've had no luck with sponsorship. But the first pull goes up. Silence will start on defense, it seems like. A nice pull deep into the American end zone. And the Czechs immediately set up in a match D. Not too much wind during this point. Surly with quick sideways passes. Now they get a bit of a gainer to Brown. Brown immediately to Ryan. Surly still stuck a little bit on the sideline. Now they try to take, but they're there again. They're there again. Now they get the swing off. Pretty solid safe passes so far. Wilkin centers back to Thibodeau. They're now just in the last third of the field. Very patient, very calm offense. Now a pass hanging in the air, but they get there eventually. Difficult grab by Thibodeau. But he gets the break off, and the pass is too high. Two players underneath, and that's a last-second turnover for Silence, and Fensel picks up for the Czechs.
Perfect offense all the way until the last throw.
Garasek to Holitsky. Materna goes for the deep shot. But this will be way too far. This has been kind of the story of the game so far, Bjorn, right? That the teams first need to really feel up the air, the wind, and measure the amount of energy and spin they put on these passes, deep passes, because they do tend to go out that back line.
Right, you'll see that a lot. So moving to your right on the screen, the teams will be much quicker to pull the trigger because of the downwind, and they're not as worried about the other team going into the wind because of the difficulty. So let's see if the Surly can move patiently back into the wind again.
So Surly on the disc again, a low pass immediately returns the disc to the hands of the Czechs. Fensel picks up immediately. They try to move quickly. Sedlat now goes to Garasek, who gets the disc. Right on the other sideline, fakes the overhead but won't take it. Holitsky swings it wide to Hron, one of the lefties on the Czech team, but Koziluch waited for the disc a bit too long, and a nice D by number 81, Kevin Ryan.
Really excellent under defense there. That's Andrew Brown picking up. I believe he's a longtime Madison player. You might remember him from the Radicals if you watch ADL a bit.
That was a really low grab. I'm surprised that there was no call on that. It was securely caught, but there was a little bit of contact with the ground, I believe. In any way, that long pass moved Surly way closer to the end zone, and they're right on the doorstep now. And here is the nice inside forehand break for the score. That's number 10, Remical with the assist. But good defense from the Czechs. 3 turnovers, I believe, forced out of that American offense.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, good defense, good goal line defense on that first possession. But again, going into the wind, every score to the left side of your screen is going to count double because it's going to be very, very difficult for anybody to score into that wind. So the fact that Surly was able to start off the game with the into the wind score is huge for them.
Absolutely. They didn't really seem that bothered, I think, by the upwind throws. Only a few mistakes caused mostly by the other conditions rather than the wind, I would say. Sometimes the tight D, sometimes just a disc slipping out of the hands.
Yeah, one little turf and one pop up in the end zone, but other than that, every throw looked very crisp.
That's right. So Silence will try their luck against the wind as well. Medek receives the pole, immediately goes to heading.
We'll see the quality of the Czech handlers now going into the wind. This is where the test is. They center back to Heading, who wobbles the disc, but the gloves help him keep it in his hands, and they're gonna do it again. Novak with a slightly errant pass, and here they go with a big shot, big backhand. 2 players underneath. Who's gonna read it better? No one. It's gonna sail out of bounds instead. The handler saw an opportunity to throw a backhand and did indeed, but unfortunately threw it way up to the heavens and the wind ate it up.
We'll see if the Canadians will choose a similar way. Sorry, Americans. No, they go through the break side instead.
I can't tell us apart either. It's all right.
We have Peterson with the disc now in the middle. Sort of a flat mark from the Czechs. He's gonna go for the dump. Finds Scullion. Now he's back with the disc.
You see a little more of a flat mark because the big danger going downwind is the deep shot. So that's why the mark is going to be doing a flat mark.
That's right. Lyle with some tight D from Novak, but regardless, a completely open player in the end zone for a quick pop. And that's a break for Surly. First break of the game. They go up 2-0.
You see the difficulty going into the wind and why that first point was so important. Scoring into the wind puts you, just like the game I did yesterday with Lorcan, scoring into the wind puts you on top of the game, puts you in control in the driver's seat. And that was Matt Lyle who scored from the Houston, Texas, went to LSU, and a good friend of mine. I used to play with him several teams back in the mid-2000s.
So we're just going to say hi to his wife Mimi and his 4-year-old son Sebastian. Hello to hopefully to you watching at home. If anyone is still struggling to find our stream, we are at the WFDF YouTube channel. Feel free to tune in for free content all week. We will also like it if you engage in the comments with us. You can also hit us up on our personal tags. I'm at Instagram at RachelKA5, and Bjorn.
I am my name NROHJB backwards 50. Narajba 50.
Good luck, everyone. The game is stopped in the meantime on the pitch as a pick is called. We see a pretty regular vertical stack set up from the Czechs. And a deep pass goes immediately into the hands of the defender.
That's Trey Katzenbach of Philadelphia fame. Been a great player for many, many years.
Wilken now dumps the disc back, and Surly takes it nice and center. Wilken has it again. He's working with Boscher. Katzenbach again with them small passes around the disc, I think the play around the disc and agile, active handlers is very much the answer to these difficult conditions. But of course, as I say that, a disc goes too high and Karasek smacks it to the ground.
Yeah, a little bit too much of an air bounce there. Went over the receiver's head.
Heading immediately through the break side, but too far from Novak. I'm not sure about the Masters Open game yesterday, Bjorn, but was it also the case where the European teams really tried to employ that huck and D tactics? Oh, and a great grab, great low grab by Klaus.
Yeah, quite a bit. You definitely saw a lot of deep looks going to our right here. The game that Lorcan and I worked, the other team wasn't really even able to throw it into the wind so much, but definitely downwind.
So Allen, right in front of the end zone. Might have called him Wilkin a couple of times by accident. Again, those wide swings in front of the end zone, just looking for an opportunity to open up. Really trying to attack that break side, but the mark doing a good job so far.
You saw Katzenbach threw it right back to his receiver on the break side, because being on the break side is the more powerful side of the field.
A pick called before the throw. O'Brien eventually had the flick open. I think he's going to try to claim that the pick did not affect the last throw, but it was indeed called before it, so the disc will go back.
I'm thinking that that throw was enough near the pick, even though it wasn't to the receiver, that the defender could say, hey, I might have jumped in the lane there.
And we know Herring is a very capable jumper. So the play resumes. O'Brien, again looking for that break side, has nothing, goes back. Oh, and a low throw, a bit of a lazy one. Novak.
Yeah, unforced error from Katzenbach.
With a high pop, and I don't know if the defender got a hand on it. Regardless, the Czechs unable to get it.
Yeah, that was Boscher with the big bid. He was dang close if he didn't get it. But either way, I think we can go ahead and credit him with the D.
Another pick called. Luckily, we have the game advisors on the sideline, always signaling what is happening, even if the players don't do so themselves. And Surly defense knocking on the doorstep.
The individual who laid out and nearly got the D, if not got it, that's Nate Boscher. His sister is a little more well-known, Georgia Boscher. Great player, legend in her own right.
Disc is tapped back in. Oh, and here's the D by Karasek, I believe.
Beautiful D.
And here is the deep put by Herring. He has some receivers underneath, both Novaks, and one of them gets it and the other one scores. That is Jan Novak and Ondřej Novak for the scores for the Czechs. Good Novak cooperation.
That's a beautiful read by the receiver. And great job, even though that didn't look like the prettiest throw, keeping it in bounds and playable. Going downwind is 90% of the battle. So by the thrower, just great job to keep it in bounds, because it's going to be very difficult today. So you see the Czech team is athletic enough. If they can keep it in bounds, give themselves a chance.
Props to Gage, though, for really running that disc down and trying to get in between. He tried his best there, but the offensive players, the Czechs, just had eyes on the disc the whole time, whereas he had to orientate himself in the space. So Surly 3, Silence 1.
I think it's 2-1.
2-1.
2-1 Surly.
2-1, right. So the Czechs sticking close, like you said, they are a very athletic team. They dominated the European Masters Championship in Wrocław. Of course, the competition wasn't that big in the category, so I think it's an exciting experience for them to play other third country, not non-EU countries in this event.
When was that championship?
It was about a month ago in
Okay.
Wrocław, end of May.
And where's Wrocław? Sorry.
That's in Poland.
Okay, beautiful,
For all
beautiful,
the-
of course,
yes, for
of course.
everyone. Sorry, I apologize.
No, it's okay. I've been meaning to visit there.
A lovely, lovely small city in the west of Poland. Sorry.
It has a huge field complex like here in Limerick, right?
It
And
does.
So
yes,
it
yes.
hosts a lot of
Hosts
championships.
a lot of events, including the junior event later this summer in August.
Awesome.
Again, the Americans going through the break side, but the last throw into the end zone a bit too high for the receiver, and a good chance for the Czechs to get a break of their own. Right now, the wind is probably the calmest it has been so far in all these games that we have streamed. And we will have Gesek, the Slovak import of this Czech Silence team, pick up the disc.
Is it the same language between Slovakia and Czech Republic?
Nope, it's Czech and Slovak, two different ones. Oh,
Okay.
but we do understand each other, as it used to be one country before I was born, really. But a deep shot does not find the intended receiver, or else the disc wobbles out of his hands, and Surly goes the other way. And they really are trying to push them to the sideline. That's Owens with the disc. He finally gets it off in the middle to O'Brien. And another wobble.
Unforced drop there by Russell, but great swinging by Surly. They look really comfortable in this wind. It doesn't seem to be bothering them much, and they're not taking too many chances, but unforced errors are always increased with this type of wind.
That's right. Fensel now with the disc. Once the deep shot goes for the step around. That's kind of his favorite move, being of a shorter height. He likes to make sure that the marks keep their distance. He has little twins at home, so we're gonna say hi to them as well, and his wife, Zuzana. Materna now. Fake and big. Fensel will have to run that down. No, he doesn't. He kind of gave up on that, and he has a player striking deep, but Surly decides to keep it calm and go for the short game. Oh, and a little miscommunication on who's defending who there. And Surly again knocking on the doorstep. And a completely open player in the open side. That was Nalezny Ben with the score.
That's too bad. That's the closest the Czech have been going into the wind. And like I said, each score into the wind counts so much. So they're going to really think about that, really want that one back, because they were only about 20 yards out and had a little unforced swing error. So we'll see when the next time they get that close to the upwind end zone is.
They will still have a few chances. We have 100-minute games at this event, so lots of time really to rectify any errors that might have occurred at the start of the game or even later on. We do have halftime at 8, and there's also a time cap in case the points take a bit too long.
And no ties out here, right?
I suppose, you know, the captains can agree on everything. Sometimes I would happily take a tie. So a pretty great put, upwind, lands in the hands of Medek. Big fakes. Eventually finds Novak, who's gonna take a big shot into the end zone. Can they read it? No, they can, but so can the defender.
I thought that was a beautiful throw coming out. I said earlier that just keeping it in bounds would be a good huck, and he really did that and had the right touch on it to come back to the receiver, but the defender played it just as well. So
that's true, and he really had to stretch out for that one.
Fair play for all involved. And now the wind just introduced itself again to the players.
And a nice downpour to add on to that. It seems like we will have Peterson work in the handling space. Oh, and a great save by Jacobs. Every catch is a wobble. It's incredible.
You saw that right, ladies and gentlemen. It bounced off the receiver's chest and back to the original thrower.
I wasn't even sure if that was right.
That's how good these guys are. You know, when you've been playing for 25 years, you can just you can just take it right back.
That's right. Peterson with a great inside break, but yeah, every throw and every catch is a struggle right now.
That's why you need some friction gloves out here, really. Really help you in these tough conditions.
Low throw from Peterson. Disc ends up on the ground. Silence moving quickly. Stuck on the sideline. And here's the inside throw and another D. This time it was Moldenhauer, I believe. Number 4. No. Number 1, was it? 4. Yeah, 4. It's
Kevin Moldenhauer, yeah.
Kevin Moldenhauer.
AKA Moldy for his friends in the Bay Area.
His career highlight is creating lifelong friendships. How lovely.
That is great.
He's only been playing for 27 years. So Peterson now in the middle. He has a deep receiver. He rips it. The disc goes up, and it's a thing of beauty. Will it go all the way to the end zone? They try to jump it in. Not there. But they need one last pass. They do get it. Jacobs with the score, and Surly with another break.
That was an absolutely incredible throw. The courage and focus it takes to throw that flick into this wind is absolutely incredible. And it was perfectly on a rope to Matt Lyle. It's absolutely incredible.
Honestly, when I think about it, when you're going to take a shot like that, I don't think forehand, a really laser flick is a bad choice going upwind. You know, the backhand, you really have to be very, very precise on the spin there, on the edge, to make sure it goes where you need it to be. Whereas this one, you just really have to rip. But nonetheless, it sit beautifully in the air for the receiver, and then they just needed the quick dish. Let's see that again. He thinks about the backhand, but goes for the forehand.
Yeah, some people really, because of the arm whip, kind of like a baseball pitch, really get more velocity, more spin with the flick. So they prefer the flick when they absolutely have to rip it into a tough wind.
For certain conditions, yeah, I completely agree. It seems like a little timeout, so we will leave you with some ads.
The ultimate things in life are free, and we're keeping it that way. Subscribe to keep up with the latest games, tournaments, and community content. Share it with your team and friends, and drop a like to help spread Ultimate to more people. Spread the word, spread the love. Ultimate.tv.
Welcome back after the timeout to the first game of the second day of World Masters Ultimate Club Championship here in Limerick. We have the Czech team Silence from Prague facing off Surly Grandmasters from Minnesota, United States.
Sounds like a local, doesn't she, folks?
So far, Surly coming out victorious out of this fight with about 3 breaks over Silence. Conditions changing almost with every point.
Right, and like you said, 3 breaks, but most importantly, just like yesterday, keep tabs on the amount of scores in the wind. And Surly has 2 of those, and so those are going to be the big ones.
Oh, and here's a pretty good defense. The defender surely got a hand on that. Oh, but they lose it straight away for trying to pick it up quickly. And the Americans, again, just shy of the end zone. The wind, there's no wind right now, so it's really about calm and secure passes. Kittner with the disc.
Yeah, you're going to see there's Trey Katzenbach, and a veteran handler with the disc, and they're going to be very calm around this end zone. The last throw has been the hardest for Surly, so you're going to see them be a little bit focused.
But this time they reel it in. That's Katzenbach with the score. I'm going to make our rule expert Janša from my home team very happy, because I'm going to point out that the disc after the call got tapped in by the thrower instead of checked in by the defender. So under the WFDF rules, whenever there's a game stoppage and the disc is meant to be checked back in, the defender, as long as they're within a 3-meter perimeter of the thrower, should tap it in.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's a little different from if anybody's watching back in the U.S. or Canada, the tap-in, check-in is a bit different. The thrower is allowed to start whenever they want, generally in WFDF rules.
Mm-hmm. So there will be still some differences. Luckily, like I said, we have the game advisors on the sideline. Props to them. Being out there with the players, ensuring that the game runs smoothly. But since Trey Katzenbach did such a good job in the last point, I feel it's worth it to also say hi to his wife, Laura Tseng, and his 3 children, Marion, Cy, and Griffin. Oh, he's an emergency medicine pediatrician. And he's so excellent in the end zone, too.
Yeah. So he's taking care of people on and off the field.
That's right. So Silence find themselves on offense again, and a deep shot is intercepted by Peterson, and they immediately go the other way, and he gets a little bit too excited. So, but wow, what a read. What a read by the Americans. Peterson, I think, did not intend for the throw to look like that, but luckily his teammates in the end zone were just as ready as he was for the break.
I think that was Samuel O'Brien, number 14. Is that who caught that? Or was that Jaden Scullion?
44.
Yeah, Scullion.
Yeah.
Great read. And again, kind of just like going downwind, the hardest part is getting a playable throw into the end zone. So if you can make it catchable, make it in bounds, you always have a shot.
And as I am all about the greetings to fans today, we're going to say hi to Dana Helgren, his beautiful wife, and Illa Elizabeth Helgren, his 3-year-old daughter. Isla. Sorry about that. Regardless, the greetings count. So as we said, we hope everyone is watching from home. WFDF channel at your disposal all week. We're streaming 1 pitch today, and starting Tuesday, I believe, or even Monday, there might be 2 pitches. So follow the schedule. We always have games in advance set up for you, so you can set a reminder. Do hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of the action.
Yeah,
so
go ahead and take the whole week off of work and just watch and hang out with us. We'll keep you company. We're great fun, and these players want to see you.
That's right. So the Czechs trying something new with a horizontal setup. Fensel heavily contested on that catch, but he goes with a ripper backhand to Novak, who's just in front of the end zone. Karasek now goes to Kesek, who gets it nice in the middle. Karasek again. Big fakes. And the stall count rising. They do take it around to Kesek. This time they do a better job. Thinks about the break side, doesn't get it. Fakes the overhead. Karasek. Herring trying to get open. But eventually it's Fensel who secures the disc. He's directing traffic. And here's the nice around for the score. And that's a clean hold. A clean hold for the Czechs.
Into the wind. That's their first into the wind score, and like I said, those are going to count double. So good for them to answer the Surly call and score into the wind. So chipped away one of those Surly into the wind breaks, and now they're still just down two into the winds.
Important point for the Czechs to somewhat stay in this game. Entertain the fans at home. Karase getting very involved in that last point. I'm sure he would also want to say hi To Anička Zvěřinová, my teammate, and his son Joachim, who is surely watching from home. Ahoj Joachime, ahoj Ani. Yes, ahoj is the Czech greeting.
Yeah, what she said. I reiterate those sentiments.
So now we finally have the Czech D-line enter the pitch again.
Yeah, we'll see. This should be a quick score. This would be nice for the Czechs to get. When you score into the wind, it's nice to get a quick D and score downwind again. It's nice to. You usually in this situation get 2 in a row. So let's see if they can get 2 in a row for the first time this game. Really increase their confidence and make them feel back in the game.
Exactly. Peterson is not on the line for Surly, so we don't have to be afraid of any great lasers going upwind.
The wind, I dare say it's almost sunny out here, so watch out.
So Thibodeau now very open for that undercut. Wobbles the disc, but gets away with the catch. Now here's the nice upline to Brown.
Yeah, the amount of bobble second catches we've seen so far has been impressive. It shows good focus, but it also shows the difficulty of the conditions. But amazing focus by each receiver.
Oh, and a bit of a the throw just went the other direction.
A little behind the receiver
yes,
as he was making the cut.
Exactly. Koželuch now. All they need is one good break pass out of hands of Novak, and they will rip it. No, they won't.
It was a little hot by the thrower, 82 from the Czech Republic. It should have been caught. It was needlessly quick.
I agree. And here's the thing of beauty: sails right over the head of the defender, and Kevin Ryan comes down with a hold for Surly.
Yeah, that was a great read and a pretty decent throw. It faded to the break side, which is always a good move as a hooker. You want to fade to the break side, make it so only your receiver has a chance. And so once again, Surly unfazed by the wind and scores right back into the wind, kind of nullifying the Czech into the wind score. So now they're on their heels again, the Czechs, now having to play offense into the wind. Very difficult.
How many more can they do?
We'll see.
We'll see. In the meantime, did you know, Bjorn, that Limerick was once a Soviet city?
I did not know that. Only for 12 days.
That's right. During the War of Independence, the British government declared Limerick a special military area under the Defence of the Realm Act.
Interesting.
And it didn't go down well with the locals.
I see. That's, I guess that was in, when was that?
1919? Back to the action on the field. Silence sticking with the horizontal setup, maybe even a bit of a dominator with 4 handlers, but disc slips out of hand. And Americans quickly going the other way. Peterson in the middle. Trying for the quick give and go. He gets it. Working with Moldenhauer. And again, a throwaway on the last pass into the end zone.
Yeah, 23 Peterson, he threw it a little behind the receiver, kind of just like you saw in the last possession for the Czech. Just throwing a little behind when the player was moving to their left, threw it to the right. But Peterson really impressed me with his wind throws. He seems pretty comfortable even in these conditions.
I'm also impressed by his play. What I'm not impressed about is the fact that he did not fill out any information. So does that mean there's no wife to say hi to? You know that he leaves us guessing.
He lives his own life.
Medic now with the disc. Swings it to the side. Working.
You see Peterson not really guarding anyone, just kind of filling the space, making it difficult to throw down the field. and it pays off. That was his man who dropped the disc, I think, but he was just playing center field.
Just making sure there's no deep threat. And a quick isolation in the middle of the end zone for a score by Doug Jacobs.
And that will take us to half, 8-2 for Surly. I think that's 4 into the win scores for Surly, just to the 1 in silence. So pretty dominating first half by Surly. You see a whole bunch of future Hall of Famers out there really, really doing the work and being solid players.
So 8-2, we will go into halftime. But before that, do we need to do something else?
Any wives and children you want to say hi to?
Well, we're going to have a look at the replay first of the last point. And as Bjorn is watching closely on the screen, we're going to have to say, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bjorn. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks, guys. I don't know where you found that graphic.
Checking out is Rachel Toshnerova and Bjorn.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Welcome back to the second half of the first game of the second day of World Masters Ultimate Club Championship from Limerick. Sunny, sunny, not so sunny Limerick. Czech team Silence fighting against Surly Grandmasters from Minnesota, US. First half has been, I'm not sure the scoreboard is representative. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We saw a lot of wobbles, a lot of drops, a lot of errant throws. Not a lot of errant throws. The throws were much better than in the other games. I think you could see the expertise there for sure. Nonetheless, Surly went up 8-2, and Silence start now on offense. Novak with the disc.
Yeah, the first half was about the confidence of Surly into the wind. And we'll see if starting off, Silence can be that confident as well.
We see Surly come out in a zone, and it eventually pays its dividends, and they immediately try to go the other way. A layout grab, but I think the receiver did not expect that throw, even though it did go into the right area.
Needlessly hasty from the thrower. I think he would have had that receiver easily open if he just took his time, stood up, and threw a calmer, flatter throw.
That's true. Medic and the center now. Surly sticking with the zone. He will get the disc again. Swings it to the sideline now. A nice gainer for Herring. And Herring's gonna put it out in the wind, but that did not have enough fluff on it for Ondřej Novak, the younger one of the two Novaks on the Czech team.
It's a pretty good throw into the wind. He just needed to wait for the receiver to get there.
This time the disc gets tapped in properly, even though I don't think it needed to be tapped in at all. Oh, and a slight overthrow. The receiver trying to keep his feet in bounds. Novak picks up for Silence.
Yeah, the receiver was definitely looking at his feet, and definitely looking at his feet, not paying attention to the frisbee.
And you can say the Czech team is a bit more relaxed because Novak is playing with his left hand again. And maybe it wasn't the greatest idea as the disc wobbles out of hands of Herring. Surly picks up straight away. Dijkman back to Katzenbach. Paradise on the sideline. Goes to the middle to Kittner. Again, that little quick feet check. Feet by Brent. Finds the upline to Katzenbach. Oh, and an errant throw.
Katzenbach just missed his receiver, had a guy striking up the line pretty open, but just threw it a little bit behind him. And the Czech were able to get that D.
This time Herring with a pickup. Goes immediately to Medic. They swing it to Novak. Nice pop through the first cup to Medic. Novak again with that lefty action to Herring. And Herring with a ripper that is collected right on the sideline. They get another gainer. Novak just shy of the end zone. They go a little back towards the brick mark. Better handler movement now from the Czechs. They get the disc moving, but now they're a little bit stuck on the sideline. Right on that end zone corner, and they do get it in. An important upwind throw. Medic with the score. Game advisor signaling the point right behind them.
Yeah, great job by the Czech. That absolutely has to happen coming out of the half into the wind. That would be a backbreaker had they not gotten that. Saw a lot of confidence there, and you also saw you might think it might be a little odd to throw a zone when the team's going into the wind because hucking is not as big of an option. So why would you throw zone? But I think the USA's goal was to just increase the amount of passes. So they put it on the Czech handlers to put it in their hands to get it up the field. And we saw one great flick huck and then a lot of confidence around the end zone. So good job for the Czech.
I think this is a first game for these teams in the Grandmasters division. They didn't have a game yesterday. So I definitely think that a lot of these teams are just trying out different stuff at the start of the tournament just to see what works in these conditions, what they can pull off and what they can't pull off. And given, I've said it before on the stream and I stand by it, that an average elite US or Canadian player will have better disc skills than an elite European player. So increasing the number of passes seems like a smart tactical move to me. And of course, Surly, in the meantime, moves quickly through the field, but lose the disc in the last third.
Yeah, a little bit of a phantom D there, meaning the defender made a play on it, didn't get it, but just by making the play, it distracts the receiver, and the receiver dropped it. So it's another reason never to give up on a play, because just by trying, you really affect the receivers.
Hrön centered the disc to Céad, who then went for the nice deep pass to Fensel, but a good box out by the Surly defender. I believe that was number 29, Thibodeau. And the Czechs need to fight one more time for the turnover. They go through the break side, and here's the ripper backhand. It sits, but not enough float for a Thibodeau to get there for the bookends.
Yeah, that was Andrew Brown with the throw, and that's the throw he was looking for. He really wanted the opportunity to throw a backhand, but really, even going into the wind, he threw it too hot.
And like I said, everyone watching from home does not have a full idea of the conditions. Right now, it changes every second almost. We have a good view of the flags, and while the wind can be still for 15 seconds, it immediately becomes super and a great interception on the field by Surly.
That was Remicale with an awesome little poach D.
And I believe Russell with the score. Yeah, he definitely recognized, the defender recognized the only open space where the disc could have gone and got the interception there. Here's the deep shot from Céad one more time. Great bid. Fensel was there, but it just went out of bounds. And here is the great look.
Yeah, you see Remicale diving into that cutting lane. The thrower might have telegraphed a little too much, and Remicale's receiver, the person he was guarding, probably did a disservice to his teammates by hanging out in that cutting space too long, allowing Remicale to cheat over. So you got to clear out, especially going downwind. You got to clear out as soon as possible when you don't get the disc.
Russell, the person with the score, with the last score, has an impressive club experience in US Ultimate, New Jersey Pike, Cambridge Twisted Metal, New York Pony, Seattle Sockeye, Fort Collins Shame, New York Horse Masters, New England No Country Grandmasters. So really a very fruitful career by Bailey.
Yeah, New Jersey Pike, named after the Turnpike, which is the road that goes through New Jersey, gets people between Philadelphia and New York.
The Czechs getting a little stuck on that first pass, but here's Novak and another dropped disc. Peterson wastes no time to move the disc towards the other end zone, and here's the quick break. That was too easy.
Peterson again with just an absolute calming presence. He's throwing out here like there's no wind. Every throw that leaves his hand looks beautiful and catchable.
So obviously, roster-wise, there we see a lot more extra people on the American sideline than on the Czech one. showing that obviously the bigger player base in America pays off its dividends also in the later categories such as Masters and Grandmasters.
Yeah, this team from Surly's based in Minnesota. The geographic base here, like I said, we got Matt Lyle living in Houston, Texas. We got several guys in the Northeast from like Trey Katzenbach and Russell, and then so they're gathering from all over the country. And the very large country of the U.S. gathering from all over because they really want to win this championship. So they accrue talent from everywhere.
So that's the ambition, yeah? A nice gold shiny medal from Sunny Sunny Limerick. Kesek goes to Karasek. Nothing up line, and a low pass is turfed. And Katzenbach in the middle to Paradise. Paradise back to Katzenbach. And again, that throw a little bit behind.
A little bit behind, yeah. I think that I touted Katzenbach, and he is a great player, but it seems like several of his throws have been behind today.
Koziluch with a gainer. Finds Czech. Another lefty on this Czech team. He goes for the overhead.
I would not have thrown that.
And Karase goes for another one to Holitsky. And Holitsky with a deep shot, but it's not perfect. Can Fensel read it better? Yeah, Holitsky did not make it easy for him.
Yeah, the defender had about a foot on the receiver too, so any hanging throw would not going to work out for the Czech there.
I'm going to say hi to Marek Holitsky's kids watching from his hometown of Písek. They're both active in the Czech Ultimate community now, and I think you will be able to see them with the Czech junior national team in Wrocław later this year. And a huge ripper goes up. That's a beautiful backhand. Can Karasa get there on time? Yes, he can! And there's no call, no signal from Alan.
Yeah, it looks like Alan boxed out perfectly, read it perfectly, and just forgot to do the last part, which was close his hand around the disc.
That's right. It just happens sometimes that you eventually fail to do the most important part, but props to Karasek to getting there on time and really trying to put a lot of pressure on that catch.
He definitely ensured that there was no second chance.
So Gesek picks up in this difficult spot. No movement downfield. The Czechs relying on handler movement. No upline for Fensel. Karasek stops to catch the disc securely, and Ellen takes the disc back off of him to repay the favor. And a quick dish to Boscher for the score. And that's another break for Surly.
Yeah, and into the wind no less. Allen did a great job. He's the one who got the D there after dropping it in the end zone. He was hungry to get it back, and he earned it back for his team. So good on him.
We see Karasek slowing down and really getting his balance point low to catch that disc securely, sort of hug it, and that's exactly the opportunity that Allen used for the D. Nice matchup, fun to watch, even though the scoreboard doesn't look as close as the Czechs and their fans would wish for.
Yeah, and like you were saying, the size, late in these games, the size of the rosters really starts to become evident, because these Czech players with only two or three subs have got to be getting pretty tired.
And in fairness, as I have spoken to them before the tournament, they weren't even sure that everyone was 100% going to be playing. So they do have some players that are here, but I think they have more than two subs.
You're right.
They're right. They're hiding on the other side. But
it
still,
looks like they have about six.
Yeah, still maybe not even 2 full sevens. But like I said, a lot of these players are still active on the Czech club scene. so they are used to working hard for prolonged periods. Their stamina is still pretty good. Heading now, stuck on the sideline, goes to the break side, but no one there except Turco for Surly.
Turco from the Midwest in the United States. I think he went to Kansas, or no, Truman State. I think he went to Truman State. When I started college, he was the great player there.
I think that was Gage with the assist. We'll have a look at the replay. Surly quickly moves towards the break side. A huge gainer for Gage in front of the end zone. And the last pass was just a cherry on top. For another break, Surly going 12-3 up over the Czech Silence team. I don't think we have about 40 minutes left of this game. I think we might hit the hard cap a bit sooner than that.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take my turn to say hello to Nick Turco's lovely wife Diana and his 4 sons, Declan, Leighton, Quentin, and Lyle.
Hello. And as the rain starts falling down a bit harder again, Heading thinks about the deep shot, but goes for the backhand to Karasek. And another low throw ends on the ground, but there is a call. A foul call, uncontested by the hand signals of the GAs.
So that would have been a foul on the mark.
Now quick movement and a good switch on the defense. Heading pick call. That's unfortunate because the Czechs just managed to move it nicely to the other side of the field. A great switch. Fensel was so open there for the up line, but a timely switch prevented the continuation.
Yeah, it was a good, we call that a roll switch. When the person on the mark.
Oh, great awareness from Heading there.
That was amazing.
But an injury will be called. Czech kind of falling to the ground. He probably hit himself somewhere where he didn't want to be hit as he got low for that disc. But absolutely awesome awareness by Heading, who wasted no time and caught that tapped away disc.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best Ds we've seen all day, but for not. Went right back to the thrower.
So Jan Novak, the Duck, as we call him in the Czech Republic, will replace Czech. Fensel gets the gainer and goes up for Novak, and that's a score. They make it look easy, but the scoreboard does not reflect that.
Yeah, 45 there has been working really hard. He's been on nearly every point, and so glad to see him get a little payoff for all his hard work.
Yes, I don't mind watching him. He's a great ultimate player, but I would like to warn everyone who would want to get into a discussion with him.
Discussion regarding anything, or
regarding anything? Yes,
yeah?
yes.
It'd be a long discussion.
It would be a long discussion.
All right. Well, I'll look forward to that later this evening.
Bjorn's coming for you, Kachere. And a downpour will send us to the last minutes of this game if it keeps developing the way it has been. Surly only 3 points away from the hard cap, which is 15 in these games. Fensel will try to wipe down the disc. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's wiping a wet disc with a wet shirt, with wet hands.
With wet hands. But look at that pull. That is pretty good as it sails towards the sideline. Will be bravely collected by Surly straight away. We have Brown in the middle, finding Thibodeau. who goes to Ryan on the sideline. Good up line. Tries to jump it in. It's not in. O'Brien looks for the up line, and he finds Owens for the score.
O'Brien looking absolutely zippy, flying down the up line and almost jumped in from 10 feet out. But yeah, good patience there on the end zone line to find his receiver. May have gray in the beard, but not in the legs. He looks swift.
Incredible slashing happening here with the rain. I've been told this is what it's called when the rain comes and goes.
Oh yeah, is that Irish term?
Apparently. But I was told by an Indian person who just moved here a month ago.
Oh, okay.
My Irish boyfriend calls a slash something different. So
Okay.
we will just take Sam's word for it. Props to him for putting in the results of all these games. He's the IT guy for this tournament. And props to all the volunteers. We have about 120 of them from 20 different countries. They're working hard all week to make this a success. Thank you very much for coming and for helping everyone enjoy this beautiful Irish weather. So the pull went out of bounds and allowing the Czechs to gain some yardage.
And again, in the WFDF rules, you either take it at the brick or take it when it went out of bounds. But you don't get to take it in the middle of the field if you choose to go where the disc went out.
Nice upline to Medic, and Novak has it on the sideline. A little bit of discussion, a pick called again. Lots of sideline shouting and instructions happening. Of course, you're allowed to do that as long as you don't stall the game. Novak with a wide pivot, thinks about the around, but will now go into the end zone. Good decision for the break side, and that is collected. That's right, if the open side is clogged, Bjorn, where do you go?
The break side.
That's right.
Yeah, good over the top there. When you have the wind behind you, you can kind of get away with stuff like that. Certainly playing great defense, taking away all the stuff to the cone, which is the most important place to play defense. But the thrower was able to just go over the top.
That was a great throw by Ondřej Novák. Very, very fun throw to watch. So we finally see the Czech offense clicking a little bit. There are options. Even the Americans can't take away everything. But I'm afraid that the pressure on defense is just not there, or not there enough for the Czechs to ever make up the huge point difference that Surly managed to build up over the course of this game.
Right. And at this point, Surly, you know, if the Czech want to score after 10, 15 throws, that's fine with Surly because time is on their side.
I agree. So a whistle blow announces that it's time to really put the pull up, and that's just what Fensel will do.
Because I think technically they only have 60 seconds between points before the poll needs
I
to go
am
up.
not the best with the time limits. We will have to check with one of our volunteers later on. O'Brien picks up for Surly. Finds Russell. Now in the middle with Thibodeau.
Surly doing a great job of breaking the mark, using the whole field. It makes it very hard for the defense downfield.
And as the rain stops, the disc is stopped as well by Fensel, who immediately strikes deep and is hoping that Hron will get it there, but he doesn't. Koželuch now on the sideline. He will find Holitsky. Holitsky wants the around, but decides for the break throw, and Sedlat is defended there.
That's Ryan with a great underbid And again, that's another
Injury.
what I call a phantom D, where by laying out, even though he didn't hit the frisbee, he distracted the receiver and blocked his vision and made him lose concentration.
So it seems like Ryan's going to take an injury sub. The rule here being if there was contact between two players and an injury is called, you don't have to take a sub, you can just take a breather. But if there was no contact with another player, you do have to take the sub. So whatever the case was here, Surly now moves on offense. Good handler movement, awaiting open downfield options. There are some, like right now, to Remacle. Goes back to Owens. And Owens, big backhand, but misses the receiver who tripped. This ends up in the hands of Holitsky. Materna now to Gesek. Gesek thinks about the continuation, but calms down instead. Doesn't have a break option. Now Fensel needs to read it, but he had no time to get around the defender. Seems like a call, but
Looks like 14's going to take one. Looks like I think he might have got stepped on.
yeah, or else rolled his ankle or something during the jump. O'Brien, his three kids watching, Elspeth, Locke, and Clem. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but hello to you two. We're sure that Dad's gonna be fine. He's just gonna take a little break on the sideline.
And that was Turco coming in for him.
Brown will pick up as the sun shines for the first time on these players in this game.
I hope everybody put on sunscreen.
I did, for sure. Turco now with the disc. Goes back to Nalezny. A nice Czech name. Or Polish anyway. Slavic. Good spacing by Surly. Thibodeau to the sideline. They look for the break immediately. Not there. They take it around. And here it is. Number 75, Nicholas Turco, with the goal for Surly for a potential game point.
That's really good patience around the end zone for Surly. You saw they had probably could have thrown the goal a few throws before that, but rather than take 60% shots, they waited till there was a 100% shot.
And I think that will be the difference between the European teams and the American, Canadian, or maybe even Australian teams. As the conditions are difficult, the nervousness is there, knowing that the bigger rosters from these teams do give them a little more security, and maybe they've gotten a bit more practice because the programs have been there for a while.
Yeah, I think, just like you said, they've played for so many years now. They're confident with the disc and confident in the knowledge that if you just don't turn it over, eventually the opportunity will arrive. So take your full 10 seconds, keep pumping your fakes, and somebody's going to get open for you. And that's the confidence that Surly has.
Well, I am hoping the Czechs can still add another point to the scoreboard, but instead I am very confused about what's happening.
Looks like somebody took a timeout.
They're acting like they're done.
Yeah, they sure are. I guess that the 70 minutes just hit.
It should be a... Oh, is it a different time caps for different categories?
Not sure.
Oh, I see. We have missed a point. And the score is 15-5. It seems like, there was a miscommunication or something. So there won't be another point. That makes me so sad because the conditions right now have just calmed down enough.
Absolutely tropical out here.
Anyway, so that was it for the first game of today. There's many more to come. We have, if you'll give me a second, I'll tell you what the upcoming games are. We have Masters Open, Goldfingers against Magic Toast from Great Britain. At 1 we will have another great, not another, but the first one, Great Grandmaster Open Division, No Country from USA and Surly Great Grandmasters. 3 o'clock Masters, Indian team against French team is no good. And many more to come. I hope you've enjoyed the streaming so far. Please tune in for the rest of the games. Please hit the subscribe button. Engage with us in the comments or on social media. I was here with Bjorn. My name is Rachel, and we'll be looking forward to the rest of the games. Remember that this broadcast is copyrighted by the World Flying Disc Federation. Thank you for watching and checking out.
See you later.
TV.
Oh my God, dude! Rachel, we got one more. Yeah, everybody thought it was another point. Rachel, we were right. Oh, what? We were right.
A rare moment of vindication. Who was right about the score? Rachel was right. And who was wrong about the score?
Everybody else.
Surprise, surprise, we're back in. Welcome back to the first game of the second day of the World Masters Ultimate Club Championship. This is not over for Silence yet. Apparently there was a slight mistake with the scoring. We will not take the blame. No one will take the blame, actually. And we're gonna give the Czechs one more try to redeem themselves in the sun for now. Medic centers the disc, goes back to heading. Only one surly defender.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing a little like kind of a switchy zone where two guys are doing the mark for the whole backfield.
So really not too much running needed from Silence now if they can always find the open player. They need to be stealing a bit more space though. Novak now with a deep shot that is collected. Not too much pressure by the defense. It seems like Surly is really trying out some type of new defense that they haven't been able to practice yet. But this is a score for Ondřej Novák.
Yeah, an amazing catch in traffic there.
We'll see a replay of that now. So like we said, there was a little misunderstanding regarding the score, so the game continues one more time. And a bit of contact on that grab, but Novak gets it nonetheless. 14-6 looks much better than 15-5 to me. Let's hope the Czech defense can put the Americans under some more pressure to really show off that with improved weather conditions, they're able of improved performances.
Yeah, any anything now for the Czech would just help increase their confidence in all the games going forward. Not every game is going to be this difficult for them. They'll have a lot more teams that are much more on their level, so there's a lot of winnable games out there in the future. So they really just need to boost their confidence, show what they can do, take that momentum into the next game.
That's right. The Grandmasters division, of course, being one of the smaller divisions at this event, but still lots of games to play ahead. So the teams get ready one more time for another potential game point. Gesek with the pull.
Decent pull right in the middle of the field. Surly's going to start from there.
We see a no huck instruction from the sideline. Now Lesney in the middle. Goes to the side, and a huck goes up. 2 players underneath. Oh my God. And it is Thibodeau who comes down with the score. And now we can say for sure this is the end of the game. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for tuning in one more time. If you've noticed that the game wasn't over yet, please stay in front of your computers. Just take a quick break. There's many more games to come. Enjoy the rest of the games, and we're checking out.
See you later.
Alti.tv